So again, just let me talk to you a little bit about myself, and then I'll let Nasri introduce himself as well. And then we're going to tell you a little bit more about what's going to happen in the webinar, and then get straight into it. And so you can learn all about what we've called the AI skills emergency. So we'll explain all that in a moment. So my name is Neil Stoneham. I run a company called Vogstree. We're a leadership and communication training company. So we do a lot of training and consultancy around leadership and communication. And of course, it's impossible today to ignore AI. It's having a massive impact on both of those areas. So this is why I'm particularly interested in this topic. I'm currently based in Malaysia, although I'm from the UK originally. I've been all over the world. I've lived in Thailand, as well as Malaysia and the UK. And so I've been around, as has Nasri, and I'm sure he'll tell you in a moment. But I think, the interesting thing for me on this particular topic is to bring in an AI expert, somebody who really knows the tech side of things. Because yes, I know how to use ChatGPT, and I do use it quite a lot now, and things like that. But Nasri, I've worked alongside Nasri for quite a few years now, and I've always been impressed by his wealth of knowledge. Because Nasri, you've been involved in this area, this kind of industry for many years now, haven't you? So do you want to talk a little bit about yourself and why you're here and what you're going to bring to the party?
Yes. Hey, thanks a lot, Neil, for that lovely introduction. Hey, everyone. I am Dr. Nazri Bajuri, or you just can call me Nazri. A bit of background, almost more than 15 years now in the tech, computational simulation, and AI. I was before, I've been in industry and academics as well, and now currently running my own startup called CitySage. I joined as a CIO, but now I'm the CTO because I managed to upskill myself, not just on innovative ideas, but also do some programming and technical work. So now I am the CTO, right? So with a PhD from Oxford University, and then given the fact that Oxford is not just about tech and whatnot, but I was there because of the strong human touch. That's the thing about Oxford that I really like, and the fact that I've been using technology a lot, but I've managed to put human at the center of things. I think, and then now I'm building AI agents through CitySage, and I told Neil, we need to get this webinar done to really prepare human, right, to stay relevant. So yeah, we're gonna talk and dig deeper throughout this 1 hour in this very webinar. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining, and hopefully you guys can share anything that is beneficial out of this webinar with your loved ones. Yeah, looking forward. Thank you very much, Neil.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. So let's, without further ado, let's get started on this really interesting topic. And we want to talk as well at the beginning about why we've called this the AI skills emergency. Why is it such an emergency? So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that right now. So here we go. So why is this webinar important? What are you going to get out of this webinar, and why now? Because, of course, a lot of people talk about AI. I mean, this is not the first time you've heard people talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. It's the next big thing. It's having a massive impact. You've got to learn how to use it and all this kind of stuff. But a lot of people, get a little bit confused by that, or they don't really know what's going on, because most of us are not really technically minded. So this webinar is aimed at people who, may be thinking about this at the moment. How am I affected by this whole thing? How can I really upskill to make sure that I don't become obsolete or lose my job? Because of course this is a big issue for a lot of people, isn't it? So today we're going to talk about why IR 5.0 is changing jobs and businesses. Okay, now if you've never heard of IR 5.0, don't worry. It basically means the Industrial Revolution number 5. So over the course of human history, we've been through several industrial revolutions. So the most famous one, of course, was probably about 200 years ago with the advent of machinery that did a lot of work that humans used to do. But of course, today we're much more concerned with AI and technology. So the IR4 was all about the internet and what that was doing for us. And now AI is taking us to a completely different level. So it's got a whole revolution to itself. Okay, so that's really what we're talking about, how it's going to change jobs and businesses. Now, a lot of people are worried about losing their jobs or about being replaced by AI. And I think that's a really valid thing to consider, because AI is doing a lot of human work at the moment, and it's only getting more sophisticated. But of course, the whole point of this webinar is to try and sort of allay some of those fears and get you thinking about how you can still stay relevant, even though AI may be able to do some of what your job or your business does at the moment. Okay. Now, we mentioned here about AI agents. I think Nasri's talked about that as well. You might not understand what AI agents are. Maybe you've heard of it, but you're not really sure what it is. Don't worry, all will become clear later on, but it is going to be the next big step in AI. So a lot of us now are just getting familiar with things like ChatGPT or DeepSeek if you're using the new Chinese version. But there's a whole new level of things that are happening, and that's all about AI agents. And so we're going to be talking about that later as well. Also, you know, this webinar matters because you need to learn how to apply new AI skills and do it now, not wait until it's too late. And I put in brackets there, you need to continue to learn as well, because this technology is always changing. You need to keep learning in order to stay ahead and to stay relevant. So, you know, what skills are going to help you to future-proof your career and your business? And it's not just about using AI itself. It's also about, you know, building those skills which AI can't do, and that actually makes you much more valuable. Okay, so I'll be talking about that a little bit later on. Now, just before we take you through the agenda for today, just want to highlight a couple of really interesting statistics that came out of a World Economic Forum report that was released just a couple of weeks ago. It concerns the future of work. So here's an interesting statistic. 41% of employers are planning to downsize because of advances in AI technology. Okay, so this is where the big worry comes in. You know, some people are already thinking about reducing the size of their workforce because of advances in AI technology. But we want to say something about that a little bit later on as well, about especially if you're in a position where you're running a business or you're making these decisions on hiring and firing, whether it's wise to actually get rid of so many people at once, because you could live to regret it. So we'll talk about that a bit later. But the next, perhaps more reassuring statistic that also came out of this report was that 77% of people are planning to reskill and upskill their existing teams to better work with AI. So a lot of managers are not just going to be thinking, well, we're going to save money and just use this AI technology. They're going to make sure that, you know, their existing staff and teams can work with this as well and upskill. So that's kind of good news. So really, in today's webinar, we're going to be showing you how to approach the process of upskilling so that you can stay relevant and competitive. Because this is, I think, the most important thing, is how, you know, what do you need to do in order to, you know, to keep relevant and make sure that you don't lose your job. And, you know, if there is downsizing, then you're not impacted because you've got the skills that are relevant and helpful for that company, you know, alongside the AI technology. So we're going to start by looking at the impact of AI. So, you know, talking about today, what's happening and how it's impacting our businesses and our jobs, and how you might fit into that. And then the AI skills you need to stay competitive. So, you know, we're going to take you through the 4-step process of how to upskill yourself with the right skills. Some of it is digital and, you know, technologically minded, and others are not so much. We call them human intelligence or human skills. So we'll talk about that. How to use AI skills to work harder, not smarter. So the whole point of AI is that it should be something that's helpful to us. It's not something that we should fear, ideally. Okay, so, you know, how do we get AI to really help us? And then at the end, I'll be taking you through a very quick process of how to create your own upskilling plan. So what kind of things to consider. And after that, you know, you might be thinking, right, we do need to upskill. So we're going to offer you a couple of exciting opportunities, depending on your level and where you are in your AI skill journey. And at the end, we'll take some questions as well, if you have any. Okay, so as I say, do feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll answer them either while we're talking during the webinar or at the end. Okay. Right, so let's talk. Let's do a quick poll because we want to see where people are in terms of this, uh, your AI use at the moment. So if you just give me a second, I'm going to put a poll up, and I just want you to react and choose one choice. Okay, so just give me a second. Right, here we go. So we're going to look at the your AI use today. So can you see, Nasri, can you tell me if you can see it?
Yes, we
This
can.
is the poll.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is a very
great.
good
So
one.
the
Thank you,
question
Neil.
is, how often do you use AI in your professional life? So we're particularly interested in, your working life, not necessarily your personal life. So is it never or rarely? Sometimes, but you mainly, that's through tools you're already using, which have got some AI element to them now. Some of you might be regularly using AI, so you might be using ChatGPT and things like that. Some of you may be, using it very often. So you're using APAL tools and processing most of your work. A lot of your work now involves some kind of AI element. And the final one is at, your advanced level. I'm even using AI agents and applying machine learning. Now, to be honest, if you put number 5, I think you can save yourself some time and you can probably leave the webinar because, we're not quite sure what to teach you because you're kind of at Dr. Nasri's level. All right, but
I
I'm
want
guessing
to learn
most of
from
you
them.
will be, but most of you are, it's interesting to see that most of you, at the moment anyway, are, you're regularly using it. So you're familiar with things like ChatGPT. Some of you are a little bit more active on it. So, you're using a lot of AI-powered tools, but some of you, 11%, or that's 2 of you have answered, you're using it sometimes, but mainly through tools that already have an AI element. So you're kind of new to this and want to sort of progress further. Okay, so that's really interesting. Great. Okay, so very quick sharing of the results. So you should be able to see that now, just if you're interested. Okay, right. So let's
So we
have a
can
look.
say that mid to advanced level in the audience, yeah? That's very good.
Yes, I mean, I'm quite glad about that. I'm quite glad a lot of people
Mm,
here are already familiar with AI because we don't want to make it too simplistic.
yeah.
And too obvious. So we have included quite a lot of sophisticated, especially when we get to Dr. Nasri's section. Okay. Right, let's move on then. So, Dr. Nasri, you're going to talk to us a little bit now about understanding the impact of AI. So I'm just going to ask you a question. In terms of where we are today, so we'll talk about the future a little bit later on, but where we are today, how exactly is artificial intelligence impacting our work and our businesses?
You know what? It's been such a pleasure working with AI, right? In boosting our productivity, drafting things. It's been great indeed to work with AI. For example, before joining CitySage, I ran my own another startup called Enbirch. I was the only person running that business. Imagine from sales, pre-sales, marketing, social media, blah blah blah, and I use AI a lot. So meaning I didn't hire anyone like full timer, but I ran it myself. So I was like, yeah, cut costs a little bit, not a little bit, but a lot. So profit margin was so high. And so I would say AI really helped me in many ways. It's not just about me. When I was in my previous company called Kagul, we noticed like huge advantage of AI and big data analytics, right? So AI without data is nothing, right? So we can see positive impact of it. But then December last year, no, November last year, November 2024, I've met a friend of mine working at Petronas. She just got back from Oxford Summer School. She told me like, "Hey Nazri, you know what? Something big is coming up. It's AI agent." I was like, "What the hell is this?" Yeah, go. I was teaching AI 2 years ago. Yeah, my accident here as well. So things are different now. AI now is not just a tool; it's a living thing. So I'll talk a bit detail. So when it comes like living things, so they can be our own competitor in a workforce. There are a few things that we need to be aware of and to be prepared as well. Okay, so that's my yeah, my take up.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
coming in from a technical point of view.
Mm,
Let me just talk about my own sort of
mm,
experience of AI and how it's affecting my own work and my business. So I've used it in a very positive way. So I was doing some work yesterday where I had to create some slides for a webinar that I'm doing for a big bank in Singapore. And I also had to do, put together a one-day course for another client. Now, normally that work would take me 2 or 3 days, okay? But I actually managed to do the research and, put the text on the slides and all that kind of thing in just one day. So it's already saved me around 70% of the time that I would normally spend, working on that kind of thing. Now, it's important to say that I didn't just prompt ChatGPT and tell me to give me the answers and just used exactly what it gave me. I did have to work with it to try and get exactly what I wanted out of it, but that's part of the skill. You need to be able to understand how to interact with things like ChatGPT so that you get the results that you want, and it can save you an enormous amount of time. And sometimes I find as well that it comes up with ideas that I didn't even think about before. Because it's got a wealth of knowledge. It's trained on all this data that's, from people that have been contributing to this for decades. And so it's a really, really valuable resource. It is quite incredible. But as we'll say later, you shouldn't take everything at face value. You've got to be able to learn how to understand what's relevant and correct and truthful, because that's a big issue at the moment. And how to incorporate that into your work. So it is having an impact. A lot of companies now are using what we call generative AI. But of course, AI is already being implemented in some of the tools that you use. Okay, so for example, if you use an app like Trello, which is like a product management tool, then these days a lot of AI is being incorporated into that. Or Canva is another tool that a lot of people use for designing things like, marketing posters and things like that. And they're introducing AI technology into that as well. So it's everywhere anyway. Even if we're not specifically going to use AI, it is all around us, and it is very much part of our ecosystem now. Okay, so that's just what we just start by talking about that. I want now to talk about the 4 steps to boosting your AI skills. Okay, because really there's a bit of a journey that you need to go on in order to make sure that you've got the skills that are really going to help to boost your career and boost your business in face of all the challenges that come with AI, but also taking up the advantage of all the opportunities. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at, first of all, understanding what AI and understanding about AI and what it can do. All right, so we've already talked a little bit about what it can do. Of course, it can do many, many, many things, and we're not going to talk about them all during this webinar, but you can do some research. So the idea is really particularly to do research around the kind of AI that is relevant to your work and your business. All right, so making sure that you do that research, understanding AI, how it works, as well as its limitations. Because I think sometimes we can be really overly impressed by what AI is able to do for us. And yet, at the same time, it does have limitations. It is not perfect by any means, although it is getting more sophisticated. And some of the issues that it's had in the past have been ironed out. It is, we've got to make sure that we understand that it can't do everything, although it looks like an amazing thing. You need to understand the difference between AI and automation. So artificial intelligence is actually a concept that's been around since the 1950s. So it's been around for about 70 years. This idea that computers can do things for us, can think for us, can help us make decisions and give us all this information. But of course, it's only in the last few years that we've had the technology that's given us the ability to create that. And this is where we are now today. So we also need to make sure that we can recognize biases and errors in AI-generated content. So, AI, as I say, is not perfect. It's trained on data. And some of that is not necessarily truthful data. Some of it is, perhaps written by somebody with an agenda. So we can't be always 100% sure that something is correct. So we need to make sure that, especially if we're writing something important or creating something important that could have legal implications, you need to really be careful when you're using the information that you get. And also, it's also about sharing the data as well, because Sometimes we'll feed a document into AI to get it to do something with it. And you've got to be careful because people will be able to find those documents or will be able to search, get information from those documents in some way once they're shared with the system because the AI will learn it. Okay, so just to be careful with that. And then developing the ability to interpret and validate AI-driven insights. So it's being able to sort of see what's relevant to what you want and making sure you discard the stuff that isn't relevant and not good. Because sometimes, especially I think when generative AI became a thing about 2 years ago, when ChatGPT was introduced, a lot of people thought, oh, I can get it to write my emails. Right, so they get ChatGPT to write the email, and the email's in the wrong tone, or it doesn't sound like the person who's writing it. It sounds a bit strange because it doesn't necessarily know very much about that person. So what some people did was just cut and paste. All right, they didn't evaluate what they were given, and it's really important to do that when you're doing that. So have the understanding. So that's one of the skills you need. You need to be able to understand what you're reading, what it's giving you, and be critical of it, not just accept everything that it gives you, because that could make a big difference. Okay. Right, the next thing is step 2 is learn how to use AI tools to help and create. So there's 2 things it really does for you there. The 2 very positive things. First of all, it should be helping you. It should be saving you time. It should be making you more productive. It should be giving you lots of great ideas. And sometimes it can actually create things for you. It can create a report, or it can create, even nowadays it's creating video. It's still in its early stages. It's a little bit, rough and ready, but it's certainly starting to become a big thing. We're already, of course, generating images and all that kind of thing. So, this is where we are. So really, in order to learn how to use the AI tools, you need to be thinking about how you use it to automate repetitive tasks and save time. That's one of the big things it can do. Okay, but remembering again, sometimes you've got to have a human eye on it. You can't just give ChatGPT a task to do and it'll get on with it, and without some kind of human intervention. And that kind of links to what Nasri is going to talk about later with AI agents. It also enhances decision making. Okay, so you need to learn how to get the right information, how to prompt it properly, to get that information that will make you able to make decisions better and maybe even quicker. Okay. You can utilize AI assistants like ChatGPT, Notion AI, and Grammarly. So Grammarly has been around for quite a while, and that's one of the early adopters of AI technology as we know it today. But now it's even more sophisticated. It can help you to write things quite effectively. And it is, I used to be a copywriter, so I can see that I'm quite impressed with what it's able to do. So we are quite advanced with that. Integrating AI into workflows to improve efficiency and output quality. Okay, so this is where we need to learn exactly when to use AI. When is AI really going to be effective for us? When is it going to be able to, when can we incorporate it into our workflows so that it really helps to save time and do things better? Okay, and finally, this is really for advanced people. Okay, and Nasri might talk about this in a moment, but there's something now called no-code creation. At the moment, if you want to create an app or you want to create a website or something like that, ideally you go to a programmer. Okay, you need to know somebody, a tech person who's good with software and design, and they know exactly what to do. This is the idea with this no-code creation, is that you can create some of these sophisticated technologies without having to know how to code. Okay, you just need to know how to prompt and it will create it for you. So we're going in that direction as well. That's very exciting. Unless, of course, you're a software engineer, in which case, you might be a bit worried about that. So you need to think about how you might fit in there. Okay, third one, you've got to be able to understand AI's role. So this is all about learning how to work with AI. And also AI agents. So in a moment, I'm going to hand over to Nasri, and he's going to tell you all about that and how it's going to, affect your own roles and how you're going to need to learn how to work with it, because it will become a thing. Sometimes these things are hyped. We get these new technologies that everybody says is going to, change everything, and then sometimes it doesn't really make much difference. This is already making a difference. and it's only going to make a bigger difference. So it is an important area. But before that, let me just quickly go through this. So, the idea is that AI is a collaborator. It's not a replacement for things. Okay, again, you really do need human intervention. You need to be able to work with it. You can't just work separately from it. Okay, I think that's not a really good, a good approach. So make sure that it's not total automation, that humans are involved somewhere. You've got to be able to give it clear instructions. So you've got to learn how to prompt properly. You've got to use the right language. You've got to be clear. And if it doesn't give you exactly what you want, then you need to be able to find out how to change that. And that really is all about communication. About having those communication skills to be able to have that clarity when you're giving it instructions. That's really important. You've got to be able to validate AI output. So you've got to learn how to be able to review and refine and fact check and do all those things that I talked about before. Because, we do need to still make sure that we're providing quality and reliability. And that's why we often need the human intervention in order to get to that point. AI in itself, although it's impressive and sometimes it can get very close to very good, we still need to tweak it a bit. Okay, so we need to learn how to do that, how to spot what needs tweaking and make sure we can do it. And finally, we need to continuously adapt and learn because AI is evolving all the time. It's not something that's coming now and it's a great piece of technology and that will be the case for the next 10 years, maybe just get a little bit better. No, it's really changing the game. And it's very interesting. So you do need to keep up basically. Okay, so I think I've said all I need to say on that for now. We'll come to the fourth step in a moment, but before that, I'm going to hand over to Nasri now. He's going to tell you a bit more about AI agents. Okay, so Nasri, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Neil, for that introduction. I think conceptually that was very strong because that's very important to understand the concept behind AI and the evolution. All right, I'm sharing my screen now. Can you guys see my screen, Neil?
Yeah.
Awesome. So in continuation with what Neil just said, right? So we are in the third wave of AI. As you can see on the screen now, right, wave one, predictive analytics. I remember back in 5 years ago, predictive analytics is like a big thing, right? And then 2 years ago, Gen AI, generative AI, everything, even governments we talk about Gen AI a lot, like everywhere, every time. But then late last year, these AI agents coming in. And the good thing, I'm not sure it's a good thing or not, but it is a thing about agent AI is they are not just about large language model, they can take action as well on behalf of human, right? So that's why they call it agent force. So human force, workforce, in the near future, we'll be having two major parties. The first one is human workers, and the second one is digital workers. FYI, for your information. Get ready, guys. Okay, so that's the third wave. And then fourth wave we've got here. Let me minimize my screen. I got so many faces. Okay, wave four is when we bring digital world into physical world back. Because now we can see like things are all digital, but trust me, anything that is done digitally soon enough will be done by AI. Software developer, data engineer, data scientist, even data scientist, data analyst. I remember I taught this subject, data analytics, back in 2 years ago for UITM students on customer analytics. That was before the ChatGPT, LLM, etc., right? And then now I can see how ChatGPT or LLM can somewhat automate that process from explanatory data analysis end-to-end ETL easily, right? So software, digital, hypothetically speaking, will be done by AI. But then human, we are given these physical features. We will act upon any digital features that we can leverage on. So that is, if you look at here, so before that, I just want to talk briefly on the AI, no, AGI, artificial general intelligence, when AI has somewhat equal or better intelligence than human. So it is coming, right? That is why I encourage my friends in the policy making agency to also attend this webinar. But also I've been very active in giving talks on how can we come up with the right policy to manage singularity. Singularity is when human and AI become one. I'll talk in detail in a bit. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. Do you know this guy? Our uncle. He's recently he's gone through so many ups and downs recently, right? So with the Nvidia launched their hardware called, I think, their Blackwell project or something. The market went up just like that, and then all of a sudden DeepSeek launched, drop just like that. So that's his story, but I'm not gonna talk about him. But I just want to share with you guys what you can see on the screen now. Yeah. So perception AI is when we learn about AI can get perceptions from visions, image, language, and whatnot. We've passed that already easily by AI. And then Gen AI is when AI can generate and create things. In a bit, I'll show you this is the highest level of learning is when you can create things. So AI has somewhat now mastered the arts of creation, right? So now it's not just creation, but they are moving towards agentic, where they themselves would have their own multi-agent system. They would work with other AI agents, AI components as an ecosystem, right? And then the highest one is physical AI. So now you can think about how you can stay competitive. Um, for those who are so into coding and digital, be careful. I think this is a good thing about natural intelligence because it's not balanced to just focus on digital but not bringing physical element back to nature, back to our world. And this is a good progress, but those who cannot live in this very moment, they will somewhat being challenged by the technology. Okay, FYI, get ready. Okay, 1 second. Okay, this one I did mention briefly about singularity. So as you can see on the screen now, yeah, on the y-axis we have intellectual level of power. X-axis is time. So initially, human intellectual is like way better than machine, of course, because we created them, right? But now we are here, almost here, the singularity, and this is the blue line is what we call transhumans, right? On the right side, very recently, OpenAI they came up with this fast funding to find a project on OpenAI super alignment fast grant because even OpenAI themselves they are aware the fact that this could be a challenge for human civilization. Hence, they passed to Oxford to run this project. And I remember this very stair. I did my viva behind this room at this very this is engineering department office. Yeah, Department of Engineering Science back in Oxford. So things are happening, research and development, but luckily, even top universities now, they are very active in having collaboration with industry. I think if you guys go in my audience, if you're just studying things at university and that university doesn't have strong collaboration with industry, careful. I'm afraid I was a lecturer before. I know how courses and how updated the courses are. So double check which university you are in and what sort of syllabus to really upskill yourself. Okay, we can talk in detail later. So things are happening. Research and development and commercialization is getting faster and faster, which is a good thing. Yeah. Uh, hypoth- Ideally speaking. Okay, now impact of agentic AI. AI is no longer a tool I just mentioned. Okay, now I'll show you a quick demo, but before that, I want to show you this very interesting company, funded by Y Combinator, the most prestigious startup accelerator in the world. So let's look at their website. Where is it? Mm, okay. Neil, can you see my screen? I am showing my Google.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. As you can see now, yeah, this company they started 2023 and they've raised almost 50 million USD Series B. Okay, what they are doing is digital workers and human results. Let me show you. They got two agents at the moment, or digital worker.
Sorry,
The
Nazri, can I just maybe ask you, just for clarification, can you just
mm,
explain very quickly what an AI agent actually is, or what a digital worker is in this context?
There you go. Good question, Neil. Thank you very much. So, ChatGPT is very language based, right? We call it LLM, large language model. But AI agent, of course, they've mastered the arts of LLM, very easy for them. but they will take action as well. LLAM, large action model. So they take action. So for example, this guy, his name is Mike. He's not a real human. He's digital worker. He can work 24/7, can speak 28 languages and more, right? And can run co-pilot or autopilot mode. Okay, they call people and people can just hire them, hire Mike. So my audience, human being in my audience, imagine the future workforce, people or employers can either hire human or hire digital workers here. Interview them, check their CV, their portfolio use cases. And for comparison, I want to show you this. Not this one. Okay, smaller team, more results. So before they hire, for example, client of this company, yeah, before hiring Mike, which is digital AI agent, they've got this big human team, and then they've got lots of tools they have to pay and subscribe. That was before Mike, but now with Mike, no, they don't need the left components because Mike can do everything. Right, and it's
Can
a
I ask,
yeah.
sorry, Nazri, how is it able to do this? I mean, what does Mike have that the other people don't have? What is why
The
is
integration, and then they don't need to have break, and they can be better and better. They are using deep reinforcement learning because every single agent, AI agent, they are backed up and powered by big data analytics in their backend.
right?
Human, our new nervous system is cells. It's not connected to cloud yet. I don't know how can we do that. Of course, we can install like sensors and whatnot. But my digital workers, they've got this big data analytics behind them, empowering them with data and whatnot. So
So it's
that
basically
is
like, he's done lots of degrees.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my FYI. Okay, let's talk about CitySage, which is my company. All right. I'm the CTO at the moment. Uh, okay, 1 second. Where is the website? City. Okay. So CitySage is built out of the idea, of course, from my co-founder, Dan. He's been living in Malaysia for almost 5 years now. Yeah, then and then he noticed that Malaysia got lots of potential, but at the same time, some dangers given our traffic, our infrastructure, with tall buildings and highways, blah blah. And then he said like, "Hey Nazri, something needs to be done with Malaysia and our urban planning." And then he knows that I'm good at AI, and then the fact that I was teaching ethics and civilization subject as well back in university, UKM. And I'm aware the fact that city stage is not just about building smart city, but also wise city. Yeah, wise city is important because we don't want to have efficiency, but compromising our nature, human nature, natural yeah, flora and fauna, stuff like that. So we have to be wise. Even in data hierarchy, right? We have four hierarchy: data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So for CitySage, we are building agents like this with wisdom to combat AI agents who doesn't have wisdom. So that is how I designed our lovely agents to have wisdom to work together with human moving forward.
And they all
Okay,
they
so,
all have specialisms, don't they? Just looking
correct.
at those. So
Yeah,
one is an urban planning agent, the other one is a surveyor agent. So, that they have their own specialisms, and that I believe they can actually interact with each other, can't they?
100%. Yeah, in a bit, I will show you guys a demo on how they interact to each other to conduct a project. All right, so very interesting use case. So speaking of which, I just want to show you. Okay, for your information, CitySage just started in October, but our technical product started last month, 1st of January, when I was in Komodo Island. I started build our first agent. So as you can see on the screen now, this is our CitySage AI multi-agent system. Organizational structure for each agent, and we have of course human as our client. And okay, I've got this one question. Hey Nazri, why can't you just have one AI? Because AI can do everything, right? And the answer is at the moment, we are promoting collaboration between human and machines. And if human can't really differentiate which agent or which task should be delegated to which department, it will be confusing and it's hard to collaborate. That's one. Second reason is every single digital worker, as you can see here, we have Siti Nazri. I'm gonna fire him at some point. Do you know why, Neil and the rest?
Mm.
Because recently OpenAI just launched Deep Research. Deep Research is very powerful. It's not in Malaysia yet, but I've seen how powerful Deep Research by OpenAI has been in conducting deep research. So imagine here, we got this layer of, okay, on the top I want to show you LLM heavy. These are all LLM heavy. And we have LEM heavy, action focus, where the agent will take action as well, not just respond in a verbal manner, but will take action as well. And then the next is our large visual model, visualization 3D, 4D. This has been proven to be the next technology. So to upskill yourself, guys, don't just focus on large language model, because soon enough, the next big thing is LAM, action, and visuals.
So basically, this is, you know, they're actually going to do the work. They're not, you know, they're going to make the decisions, and they're gonna do it for us. I'm just conscious of time,
Mm.
Nasri, because it's
Mm.
now 8:45, so we've got quite a bit to get through. Are you able just to tell us a little bit more about how to, you know,
Yeah, let's
how we
quick.
can upskill to work with these agents? What do we need to do? Could you tell us about that?
Sure, but quick demo before we do that, because we want to see how this thing works, right? So we've got here. Okay, so here's our software homepage. We've got the agents here. I've explained them. And then, because this is still MVP, I want to show you real quick one use case, traffic management. Okay, so let's quickly, because of the time, I've run some example 1 hour ago. Here you go. So the prompt was like, hey, tebrau jam teruk, what should we do? So I use human language, right? And then our agent, his name is C Lintas, traffic agent. Yeah, provide some answers and please reply in Malay. The agents reply in Malay. That's
Wow.
one. Reply in Malay. And then I asked the agent, boleh panggil si Nazri? Or in English, can you please call si Nazri to do research? And then what happened? This si Lintas agent delegated the task to si Nazri to do research on his behalf. And you can view the conversation here. So they're having conversation between them, right? Okay, and here's the output. So this is an example, and the fact that at CitySage, we've included human in the loop principle, where human, as you mentioned, Neil, human should be in the loop in a way that two major involvement. The first one is to review or to approve. That's it. That is the current HITL policy or principle. I really hope that Malaysia or other countries can come up with what should be catered under this HITL principle, which task should be done by human and should be done by AI. This has to be clear up, otherwise it's going to be very confusing. Another example, affordable housing. This one is when this is interesting because yesterday was holiday in Malaysia and I let the agent to run autopilot, not co-pilot, where they can run themselves. For example, yesterday, this one, I asked, Siruma is another agent. She's doing housing and community strategy. So you can see, I asked her to send email, blah, 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 right? Autopilot. And then what she did and the rest, Siruma and other agents, they work together. And they sent me very weird, not really weird. It's a good email. So this is the email from them. And this is, I built my own agent to reply my email, but I just tested autopilot mode. And you know what? This is not my reply. I didn't approve this. I just wanted to test. And the reply is really good. And even, please let me know if you're available for meeting to discuss this point in more detail. They're about to set up a meeting among them. There you go.
They're working just like humans, but presumably they're not getting burnt out, and they're not, you know, they've got plenty
Yes,
of time. Yeah.
exactly. That's why in designing CitySage digital worker, we are considering human element as well to really save humanity. Okay, so now, we've seen how AI agents can work, right? Their potentials and whatnot. So let's talk about how we can really upskill, yeah? So to answer your question, how to upskill to work with agents. So I've divided the possibility into two.
You've got 2 minutes, Nasri, to explain this.
No worries. I think the audience is
Right.
fine because this is
Yeah.
important.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Please put thumbs up in the chat if you're okay with the time because this is important. Right. So I know in the audience, not everyone is about self-employment or about employment. So let's start with the easiest one, self-employed, like business owners and whatnot. So anything underneath here can be done by AI. Remember things, understand things, apply and analyze. But evaluate and create um, can should be done by human. But the fact that AI is a bit extreme now, they can also evaluate and create. So to upskill, I would suggest use the bottom one's AI for the bottom's Bloom's taxonomy, but the upper one you use your own intelligence, human intelligence, to stay relevant. Okay, this is a bit of Rachi metrics to understand between each task, who should run that task, and then what AI agent should do. For example, you can see defining AI governance policy. I know in my audience from NIO, if I'm not mistaken, National AI Office, you guys are designing the policy, right? So in designing the policy, you can get involved AI agents into it as well, but don't let them do the responsible part. Let them just do the informed part. So this has to be clear up. Otherwise, it's going to be very confusing. IR 5.0 will be very confusing. Who's doing what? So RASI metrics, when you design your upskilling, for your company, for yourself, you know these metrics. Please design, and then you can ask AI to validate and verify. That's for some dynamics between human and machines. So for employment, of course, use basic automation to boost your productivity. But I want to show you this, the evolution of how job can be replaced in a very precise timeline. So for example, text, code, image, and video, you can see on the y-axis, and the x-axis is the timeline. And then large model availability, first attempts, almost there, and ready for prime time. So we are into 2025, right? So I think everyone remember, text is powerful now, code is easily can be done by AI, image as well. And next is video and 3D. And another layer at the bottom is physical AI, as mentioned. It's not in the table yet. Physical AI will be, I think, not 2025, but around 2026 or 2027. You notice China has started building their robots dancing and whatnot during Chinese New Year. That's physical AI. It's there. Okay, so upskilling wise, so these are the new jobs that will be created. So this will be replaced on the left, right? On the right side is the where your colleagues and bosses are AI agents. Yeah. So now, if you go to Y Combinator, Hafiz, maybe you know in my audience, my ex-student, he's PwC. Now, business is not just about B2C, business to customer, or business to government, or business to business. We have business to AI agent. Okay, so be ready. This is happening. So you guys can upskill yourself on how you can be appealing enough. Your CV is appealing enough for the AI to hire you as well. If not, they will fire you. The good thing about this is, okay, let's have a look at this one. Yeah, a few new jobs. Number one, AI augmented leadership and governance. Human AI
Sorry,
collaboration.
Nasri, I really have to remind you of the time now. It's nearly 9 o'clock, and
Okay.
I know a lot of people have to leave at 9. So I know you've got a slide, haven't you, on actually, some things that people can do. Do you want to take us through that?
Sure, but let them take a picture of this first. This is the importance of having human intelligence in here, right? So don't just focus on tech without practicing advanced human intelligence skill. That's why I agreed to collaborate with Neil because Neil is HI expert, right? If not, I think it's not gonna happen. This IR 5.0. Okay. So in conclusion, human will shift from task doer to meaning creators. So these are our direction. Yeah, IR 5.0 will demand that human focus on high level oversight, creativity, emotional intelligence, strategic governance, and sustainability, while AI handles routine tasks. This should be in the policy, and we create meaning. Okay, so because of that, because of the time, right? So where were we? We got this done, covered. Upskilling is fine. You guys can go ahead and explore, but you guys understand what is happening now. At least the gist of what's coming up as well. Okay, this one is
Right, this
under
is me.
Neil.
It's
Yes.
my turn now. Okay, so yeah, so thanks very much for that, Najri. I think
Mm.
it's really interesting to sort of see the evolution of this technology and why it's really now becoming such a big thing. It's not just people talking about it, is it? It's actually, it really is impacting. And we've already seen a great example there of what you're going to be introducing into the urban planning system in Malaysia,
Mm.
which is really exciting. But I'm sure a lot of urban planners at the moment are starting to think about, whether they're going to be replaced, but they're going to be very much part of this ecosystem, aren't they?
All right.
So that's great. Let me just quickly now,
just to
just
add,
in the interest of time.
to the audience to before you buy any software, please make sure that the software is not just about having AI to do things, but promote collaboration between AI and users. This is very important. I know some people are involved in vendors, policy assessment and checking their proposals and whatnot. Check this element to have collaboration between AI and human. Okay, back to you, Neil.
Right. Okay. So we talked a lot about tech now, but I just want to bring us back now to what we call human skills. So the next way you can become competitive is to develop these, what we call human intelligence skills. So these are things that AI can't do. So starting off with critical thinking. So the ability to be able to think critically. Now that's already been brought into AI in some form, but at the moment, I think still humans still have the edge in terms of analyzing, questioning, making informed decisions and things. But one thing you can do now is to ask things like ChatGPT to show their reasoning. So, show if they come up with an idea, show how they come up with that idea. Where did they get their sort of information from in order to do that? What was the process? And you can
Yeah.
actually learn quite a lot from that as well. So
That's
that's
very good. Thank you very much. It is called chain of thought, COT.
yeah.
So please don't ignore that in your ChatGPT. COT is
Right.
very powerful to improve your human intelligence.
Okay. And then negotiation and persuasion is another thing that you can do. So obviously, at the moment, ChatGPT can help you to negotiate, but it can't do it on your behalf. Also, things like communication and storytelling. So learning how to be able to prompt in a particular way, but also evaluate what it gives you. So if you're generating text, for example, to be able to see whether it has the right tone, a voice, whether it has all the information, whether it's persuasive and all that kind of thing. You need to be able to make sure that you can apply your own skills to make sure that's actually happening. And finally, emotional intelligence. So at the moment, AI is a robot, it's a computer. It doesn't really have empathy. It may say, sorry to hear something if you say you're having a problem, but it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't feel anything like humans do. So sometimes, we still have the edge there. So if you can build your emotional intelligence skills, your communication skills, your negotiation and your persuasion, and your critical thinking, then I think that's going to help to set you apart. If you already have those skills, that's great. But if you feel that you need to, improve on some of those areas, then that's something you need to be thinking about.
Neil, thank you very much for this. Just to add, at some point, AI agents can also thumbs up or thumbs down your prompt or your response.
Yes. So they can help you actually become better. They can train you, can't they?
Yeah. You can
So you're
design
going to
them that
take us
way.
on to the
Yeah.
next slide now, which I think you're just going to very quickly, if you don't mind. Oh yeah, we're going to have a poll. Yeah, very quickly. Just actually, Nasri, I think just in the interest of time, because we've only got 3 minutes, we'll probably skip this.
Okay.
And then maybe do it with people who are hanging around at the end.
Yeah.
Could we go to you're just going to very quickly tell us about this piece of software that you've come up with that you're actually creating at the moment, which is maybe going to help
Okay.
people to
Yeah.
to improve their
So the
skills.
mic is back to me now, yeah? Thank you very much, Neil. So yes, thanks for that, Neil. So a quick one before we talk about courses, I just want to share with you guys this very interesting, oh, it's not here. Okay, so for automation, you guys can consider using an not Netflix. It and automation. This is one is very powerful for automation, but in order for you to do intelligent automation, you can include LLM, LVM, LAM as part of the process, and it's good. Another one is called make.com. So as I said, you guys can, this is one of the powerful less to no code solutions that you guys can experiment with. Okay. And in building agents, I would suggest, so I've been using LangChain a lot. LangChain. Yep. LangChain, LangGraph, all the Lang family, go explore. This is very powerful ones as well. So they are built on top of Python. Okay, and you can just simply use prompt to build your agents and multi-agent system, at least on the personal level, not enterprise level yet. So upskilling, if you want to find courses on, for example, on Coursera, on Udemy, blah, 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 look at carefully the tools they are using. Study and do research on that. And if you want to text me on Instagram or LinkedIn, text me, hey, Dr. Nazri, is this a legit course or not? I'm happy to give my thoughts on that as well. Okay, so that's on the upskilling bit. So this one is interesting because I'm so kind of worried about, of course, our human uh, competitiveness, right? So I've built this one software called IFIA, where we can enhance human intelligence together with artificial intelligence upskilling by using AI. So quick one, Neil, just I think we do have time for it, yeah?
Got 1 minute because it's 9 o'clock now, so I know
Mm.
that people are going to start wanting to move on. So
Okay, no
just want to be
worries.
very, very quick with this, and then we
Yeah.
can wrap up.
So
Yeah.
for this one, for example, as you can see on the screen, so it is an AI mentor, yeah, where you can ask question about, okay, for example, I'm the user. Hey, I really wanted to upskill myself because I found that my job has been, yeah, recently replaced by AI. So how can I upskill? Right? So this AI will recommend courses to upskill, yeah, be it data and even human intelligence, aligned to your personal preferences, right? And then these apps will be connecting with human mentors as well, like Neil and your friends. So we have human mentors and AI mentors as well to really help human out there to upskill, not just AI but HI as well. So we are building this, and it is actually working, but we don't have time to show you guys. So maybe next time. Right, so we've covered this and how to create your upskilling roadmap. I think you know what, this roadmap can be done by IFIA easily, highly personalized to you. So this one, have a quick look. And here you go, our key takeaway, Neil. Maybe you can take this up if you want.
Right. Okay. Can you just stop sharing the screen so that I can share mine
Mm.
now? So we're going to swap over. Okay. Right. 1 second. Sorry about this. Okay, so we are going to finish off very shortly, and then we'll hang around and we'll take some questions if you want to hang around. But just for now, we've talked about how to create your AI's upskilling roadmap. So now you've got some ideas of particularly how you need to be thinking of upskilling in the future, especially when it comes to dealing with things like generative AI, but also AI agents. Start by assessing your current AI knowledge. So identify the strengths and gaps in your AI understanding. Hopefully you've learned some things today, but I'm sure you'll be thinking, you've listened to some things, you think, I know nothing about this, and you need to do some research. So think about that. Step two, identify the AI skills that are relevant to your career. So of course you can't learn everything about AI, and there's no point in doing that. Making sure that you're actually identifying the skills that are going to be relevant to what you're going to be applying in your job or your business. Step three is, start small. So use AI in daily tasks. I think most of you are already using AI, so you're probably doing this already to an extent. But make sure you try to experiment with things that you're not using at the moment. And Nasri has given you a few examples of some things you could use there. Take AI specific courses and experiments. So, I mean, there's plenty of training out there that you can do. Nasri's just taking you through a new piece of technology that may be able to help you specifically in terms of upskilling there. And finally, stay updated. As I said, AI is always developing rapidly. So it's important to not just sort of learn what's good now, what's relevant now. It's always going to be changing. So keep an eye on the news, keep an eye, read things. find out about what's happening in your industry, particularly related to AI, and make sure you learn how to use it. Okay, so that's just an upskilling roadmap. Some people have asked in the chat if we're going to share these notes with you, and we will do. We're going to put together a PDF, which we'll share in an email with you tomorrow. So you've sort of been writing furiously things down, or you've been trying to follow things, and you'd like to make some more notes, then yes, we will share these with you for your own information. Okay. So let me just quickly talk about takeaways. In a moment, we're going to give you a chance to ask questions if you want to. But here's 5 big takeaways from today's session. So first of all, make sure you're researching about what AI can and can't do so that you understand exactly the opportunities and the limitations, and you can use it wisely. Number 2, identify the tasks and processes that AI can help you with today. All right, so think about what perhaps you're not utilizing AI for, and then maybe that will help. Learn how to use relevant AI-driven tools in your work. So you may already be doing this in some cases, but maybe there's other tools that your colleagues are using that you could learn that could be helpful for you. Prepare to work with AI agents. So Nasri's taking you through that and what you need to be thinking about there. And finally, build the human skills, what we call human intelligence. That's how we differentiate between human skills and AI. Artificial intelligence, human intelligence. You still need to build those skills in order to stay competitive, because if you can do things that AI can't do, that's going to put you ahead. Okay, we want to very, very quickly introduce you to 2 opportunities here now. We did mention that you may be thinking about upskilling and what could actually do. So this is just an offering from us. We'll be very, very quick about this. First of all, for those who are quite advanced, maybe you're quite high up in your company or your organization, and you could benefit from some coaching. So we're going to organize a very small coaching group of about 8 people, and Nasri and I will be the coaches, and it'll be a 90-minute session, and we'll be tackling AI and HI challenges in your organization. So it's kind of like a round table. You'll be talking with other leaders and things like that. It's a very exclusive group. But it's really for people who already have some understanding of AI, and you're trying to tackle some very sophisticated challenges.
Neil, sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen on that bit or the PowerPoint, not full screen mode?
Can you not see the screen?
From my end, I see the PowerPoint, not full mode version, not presentation mode.
So you can see that. Can you see the slide?
Not the actual one, I'm afraid. Yeah, this one, okay. Maybe you can unshare and then reshare and then find the right screen. Then we are good.
Yeah, can you see it?
Brilliant. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Right, so a bit of a technical thing. But anyway, you heard what I was saying. So hopefully, I mean, that's really what that's about. So if you're interested in that, we're just taking expressions of interest at the moment. So do contact me. You have my email because I wrote to you this morning with a link. So do feel free to connect with me or Nasri as well if you're interested to become part of that group. And when we're ready, we'll share details. So finally, for those of you who feel like you're not quite ready for AI agents yet, but you're still wanting to learn some things that we've talked about today, we're going to do a 2-hour course, a 2-hour virtual course called Supercharge Your Productivity with AI and Human Intelligence. So we're going to apply all of those things that we've talked about today to help you improve your productivity. That's on Wednesday, the 16th of April, which is quite a long way away. But we're giving you an exclusive price on that today, where you can get it for half price. Okay, so there's the QR code. In a moment, I'll put the link in the chat for those who want it. But there's the QR code. So we'll talk about basically how to apply a lot of these things that we've talked about today to help you become more productive. So tools, but also applying the HI element as well. So I think we've pretty much come to the end of the presentation. Apologies for going slightly over time. Hopefully you found that really interesting and useful. As I say, we'll share these slides with you. We'll also be putting this on YouTube as well. So we'll share the link to YouTube when it's ready, and then you can watch bits of this again if you want to, if you want to sort of go over things that maybe the first time you listened, you picked up some things because it's quite sophisticated, quite technological in some parts. And you might want to sort of watch that again. So we'll share that with you. So thanks very much for joining us. It's been really great to have you. And again, I hope
Neil,
you
maybe one or two questions. I
yes,
really
no,
wanted to
I'm
listen.
just
Yeah.
saying to people who need to leave now because I know that some people need to leave. So I'm just going to say, thanks very much for joining us. But if you need to leave now, feel free to do so. But we are going to take some questions. So Najri and I are going to hang around for another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're going to take, because I think we've got some questions in the chat, haven't we? So let's just have a look what's coming here. Najri, do you want to pick up some? Some people are just adding some comments of what they said. Quite an eye-opener for me, says Nasra. Just recently started using ChatGPT, but oh yeah, so she's had to go. But yeah, that's great to see that some people are learning from this. Okay, have we got any questions?
Farhan, are you still there, Farhan? Farhan, are you still there? I do have questions for them. Farhan, are you still there, Farhan? One second. Oh, Amir is there. Amir, how are you, Amir? Amir is HR. So human resource, this is really important for human resource department to really think about the future of HR is not just going to be managing human as the resource, but also AI as a resource as well. So I bet HR will be somewhat will be revamped and revised their practices. So hopefully, if you're listening, maybe you can share with your team about this new wave in workforce. Yeah. Thank you, Amir.
Yeah, I'd just like to add to that. I think HR probably, out of all the departments or parts of the organization that are going to be affected by AI and what you've been talking about with the agents, they're by far going to be the biggest impact, aren't they? So we've got another question here. Just another thanks from Hafiz. Okay, thanks very much. So some people are saying thank you very much and saying nice things, but we don't have any questions at all.
Firdaus Salim. So we have Firdaus Salim
Amir,
here.
I don't know if you asked Amir for something, but he said he's still on the road. So, should we wrap that up then? Because it looks like we've got a question from Farhan.
Farhan.
Question for Dr. Nasri: Do you accept to become an external supervisor for PhD? He's obviously very impressed by your wealth of knowledge and your technical knowledge there.
Yeah.
What's your answer to that?
Farhan, because external supervisor, yes, happy to. So long it is aligned with our mission, my field of expertise as well. Happy to contribute. Yeah, Farhan. Yeah, text me. Oh, Amir, you're on the road. It's okay, Amir. Hopefully you heard that very message from me about the HR department because I was involved in HR as well last time about hiring and firing and go to court and everything. But now when employers started to see this AI agent is here, less drama, we're gonna see what's gonna happen next.
Right, so it looks like that's it then. So so thanks for those who stuck around a little bit longer. As I say, we'll share everything in an email with you tomorrow. There's still an opportunity to sign up to that course. We've said midnight, but I think because we had to lose a few people, I think because it got to 9 o'clock, we'll give them till tomorrow night to sign up for this if you want. And then we'll close that particular offer. Okay, so if you're interested in you or your team, this is not just this could be for anybody. Then do share that with your people. The link there will take you to more information as well as the sign up, and you can benefit from that. Okay, so that's it. So those of you still around, thank you very much for joining us. Nasri, do you want to? We've got one very quick question just as we're about to wrap up. So Amir says, you talked about how we should upskill ourselves, but what could we, the experienced professionals, do to build a better workforce? That's quite a big question, isn't it, Natalie? Do you want to
I like
answer
that.
if you can?
I like that, Amir. Thanks a lot. So let me repeat your question. Yeah, you talk about how we should upskill ourselves, but what could we, the experienced professionals, and you're one of them, do to build better workforce? Yeah, as I said, we have to really embrace. So we are talking about professionals who have the power to to bring some changes, right, to our company, to our organization. I think that's what you meant. So we should embrace IR 5.0 in a very humanic uh, level or manner. Go to the human side, the biology side, and then check organizational behavior, OB. Of course, OB is part of human resource. Organizational behavior now is not just about human behavior, but agents' behavior as well. So when you onboard new tools, yeah, tools to your company, double check their OB behavior of the AI, the way they design, the way they program their agents to work with your existing human in your company. Check the policy, check the details, check the HITL, human in the loop principle in that. And then I think that's where you can bring changes to that by ensuring that the policy being implemented in your company is aligned with the harmony coexistence of human and machines. Thank you, Hafiz. We can catch up separately later.
Yes, I'm sure you've got a longer answer there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A thumbs up from Amir there, so obviously that was good. Okay. Um, there's something. Oh, so Farhan says some very nice things about us there. Thank you very much for your kind comments there,
Nilsan.
and for
Yeah.
joining us. Yeah. All right.
Excellent. I think we had a very good session tonight, eye-opening. And it's time to take action, everyone.
Mhm.
And get in touch. And Neil just mentioned about having this group chat, not group chat, group support system, blah, blah, blah. That is very powerful because even every two weeks, 2 months, things will change. So we can help you guys with yeah, updating and upskilling over the time. So keep in touch, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. That I'd echo that. We're here. You can contact us anytime if you feel that we're able to help. And we were more than happy to have a chat about how that might work. So do let us know. And thanks to everybody who's put kind comments, and it's good to see. It seems to be have resonated. It seems to have been quite useful for people. So that's what we hoped from this, wasn't it, Nasri? We hoped that to help people who are sort of having all these questions,
Yeah.
at least start you on the road to trying to do something about this and helping
What's the
you
name of
and
my
and
YouTube
the
channel?
people you work with. Yeah. Great.
Okay.
I think we'll wrap that up then. So thanks again just for those views. Oh, we've still got quite a few people. We've still got 12 people for hanging around to the
Yeah.
bitter end. So thank you very much again to everybody for joining us, and keep in touch, and we'll hopefully do another session in the not too distant future on something related but slightly different.
Yeah. More technical.
Oh no, please.
All right, guys,
We're
it's
all
time to
there.
rest. Let's get some rest. And yeah, we talk again soon. Yeah. Take care,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye bye, everybody. Thank you very much. Take care.